Good evening, Professor.
Kevin, my boy. You called me during my study hours. Take a seat, please. I know you've had some questions about Bakugan toys.
I have, Professor.
And I'm here today. I'm going to explain to you about Bakugans.
Really?
One of my favorite toys of all time. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Well, when I was a boy, just a yee lad, younger than you, probably half your age, but when I was a yee boy, I would watch it every morning in my parents' bedroom. Every morning, 5 a.m. before school, and it really grew on me. And it means a lot about these toys. So I want to share the wealth of what I grew up with to you children. Are you excited to learn more?
I am.
Awesome.
So, Professor, what exactly is Bakugan, and what do I need to know about it?
Well, I'm glad you bring that up. Bakugan was a TV show in the 2000s about these kids that had these balls that they would roll out, and when they sprung out, this monster would appear and they would fight. And that's pretty much the premise. You know, I could get into all the lore and details and background of what this show really was, but I'm here today to really talk about this toy. The toy, that's the important part. But first things first, a disclaimer. Once you start buying them, you won't stop. They're addictive. And your money is gonna go out the drain. I was so in debt, I just had money flying at me. It was going away, and it's just out of thin air. All my cash gone. So I just wanna warn you before we get started, not to spend all your money on Bakugans.
Thank you for the advice. I'll keep that in mind.
So usually looking at a Bakugan toy, they'll usually be in their ball form, where they're rolled up. And how the game would usually work is you would take the ball and you would roll it, and on the ball there's actually a magnetic strip that tennis ball clearly doesn't have, but there'd be a strip, let's say here, on the Bakugan, and when that magnet would roll and come in contact with anything metal, it would allow it to spring out, and it would take the shape of whatever Bakugan character you picked. So pretty much the main components of a Bakugan are going to be the magnet, the springs, and the pieces that clip together. So when looking at it, there's clearly the metal part, but there's more, or the magnet part, but there's more to that. So to keep the Bakugan actually secure and in this ball form, the pieces need to clip together. So when it's like this, you'll have each of the pieces clipping together, attaching to each other, and then once you roll it, and this magnet, it acts as a trigger. So once it comes in contact with the metal, it will allow those pieces with a spring to push up on them and detach all of the pieces, making it into a quick spring. So it'll quickly go from ball, and the second that action happens, it'll spring into the form, and usually these forms would be a dragon or a dinosaur, but something along those lines. Yeah. It's important to remember that with these toys, it will not unclip at all unless the magnet is in contact. So you won't be able to pull the pieces apart or detach it unless with very, very strong physical force. And I think it just goes to show how strong the action is when it does come in contact, of how much power is needed to detach the locking components with the spring and have this ball become a functioning character. I hope that you all learn a little bit about Bakugan, and maybe you'll be playing one day. See you out there at a tournament or something. So have a good one, y'all.